The overnight parking ban is a part of the Winchester town traffic regulations which were adopted in July 1936. Almost 90 years later, some of the items mentioned in the regulations are no longer relevant, such as animals being herded through the streets, horse-drawn vehicles, and establishing quiet zones for sick people. Given that some of the regulations are clearly antiquated, it would be fair to wonder if the overnight parking ban is not similarly outdated. This is Winchester in the 1930s. Without street lights on every road, these vehicles would be difficult to spot in the dark. Note that headlights were not standardized before 1939 and cars weren't required to have reflectors until 1968. Compared to the 1930s, modern cars have vastly improved headlights, rear reflectors, and license plates that reflect light. These features make it easy to spot other vehicles in the dark, and parking them on the street at night is now perfectly safe. Although the year-round parking ban is no longer needed, this regulation is used to justify the random enforcement of a non-existent winter parking ban. A winter ban is consistently mentioned on the Winchester Police Department website, while the town reminds residents each November that the parking ban will be enforced during the winter months. However, with the lack of signage regarding a parking ban, mixed messages regarding the type of ban, random enforcement policy, and presence of vehicles parked overnight on any given date, it's no wonder that residents in Winchester are confused or even unaware of this regulation. Potentially, this confusion could be eliminated by switching from a year-round ban to a winter ban. But why do we even need a winter parking ban in the first place? The main reason given for the ban is that it keeps the streets clear for snow removal. Ignoring the fact that the parking ban doesn't actually work, it's also worth noting that snow occurs at all hours and not just during 1 and 7 in the morning. The second issue is that the ban unnecessarily limits street parking when there is no snow, which is roughly 97% of the time. The solution is to declare parking bans when needed and allow parking when there is no snow. Some Winchester residents say they like the parking ban because it prevents the streets from becoming too crowded and makes it easier for them to get their cars out of their driveways. But this is only necessary on narrow streets and would be useful year-round. The solution here is to implement restrictions on certain streets only, such as one-sided parking and no parking signs where appropriate. Government is designed to serve the people, which includes implementing regulations to keep the public safe. But once regulations become outdated, the importance of removing them is no less important than establishing them in the first place. Enforcing outdated or unnecessary regulations is an abuse of power and is not how a democratic government is designed to work. Since an overnight ban has not been needed for decades, it is past time to remove this outdated regulation.